Good evening, Mrs. John.
Hi.
I'm Rodrigo. I'm the instructor therapist that is going to make the work with your son, little John.
Nice to meet you.
Nice. How was your week?
It was good. How was yours?
Well, lots of work to do. Can you please sit down? So, at the beginning, I would like to review an agenda. I have some material here, and what we are going to do now is I'll give you this training procedures, and I would like you to follow the procedures so we can maintain little John in the reinforcement schedule. So if you look here, you will have the agenda for today. We will have a tally sheet, and I will have here the checklist procedures. I will explain everything as our talk goes on. So today we are going to talk about reinforcement. Well, reinforcement, I don't know if you are aware of this concept. It's something that can maintain a behavior. For example, your son is playing outside, playing football with friends. What is the reinforcement will be the attentions of friends and the joy of the play. So it's really reinforcing for him. Anyways, I'm going to try to teach you the reinforcement schedule, how to proper deliver reinforcers, and how to proper conduct the therapy sessions at home, because we are introducing him to this intervention at the center, and pretty much as everything that you can do here at home will help John to be more, how can I say, I can't say that he will be functioning better, but he will be like more able to maintain those skills that he acquired in the center through his daily basis life. So here I will have something that I would like to check with you. I want you to say to me if it's correct, but John present a behavior that is when you ask him to move from a preferred activity, like such as playing with his toys or watching TV, to do, for example, to take a bath or to go to sleep time. He present a heating behavior. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So this behavior, I have this definition here, that is a sudden movement with his arm towards heating you. So if I can demonstrate like something like this, or heating you or slapping you or something like that. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we are going to replace this behavior to proper ask if he can be a little bit more on the task that you were performing before you requesting him to move the activity. So is that clear? Is any question that you want to ask or something?
No.
No?
Nothing's changed. Still the same.
Still the same. Nice. So okay, what I'm going to teach you is the principles of reinforcement. What is reinforcement and how we are going to use it? Well, reinforcement, how can I say that? It's something that your son really enjoy. Does he like candy or something?
His favorite candies are jelly beans.
Jelly beans. So, jelly beans, if I can say, is really reinforcing to him. For example, if he is um, when he eat jelly beans, I think you can see how he makes him, like his face or anything. Like, for example, he can smile or look at you and ask for more.
Yeah, he usually goes to grab them right out of my hand.
So he really enjoys it, and I can say that it's really reinforcing to him. So I'm sorry, I have just to keep track here. Yes. Okay, I reviewed the agenda. Yes. So, thinking about reinforcing, what I want you to do with John is like this. So, if you want him to clap his hands, for example, you would ask him to clap his hand. As soon as he clapped his hand, you give him a jelly bean. For example, John, can you clap your hand for me, please? Can you clap your hand? See? Now, good job. And this, pretend that this you're reinforcing. Well, I don't think a pen is really reinforcing to you right now, but it's pretty much like that. So, you get this preferred item, this thing that he really enjoyed, and you give to him as soon as he present the behavior you want him to present. And that is the reinforcement. So, you know what is there any doubt that you have about the reinforcement? What is reinforcement?
No.
You understand? Oh, that's good. So, we are going to introduce him a reinforcement schedule. So, what I am trying to say is, whatever he presents, the behavior you want him to do, there is asking for more time to be playing or doing whatever he was doing before you ask him, you will give him a reinforcement. That could be the jelly bean or a preferred toy or something. In this manner, you will have to look at John and search for preferred items. For example, if he's playing with a toy, you can see, oh, that toy, he likes that toy, or he's more engaged with it, and you will use it for a reinforcement. So you'll take that toy, not give him access to it, and after he present the behavior, you'll give the toy to him and let him play for a couple moments. I would say a couple seconds, like 10 or 20 seconds, but you can let him play a little bit, and as soon as you ask him to move to another activity, you retain the toy, ask him to do it, and if he asks you to play a little bit more with that toy, you give the toy back, but you give another reinforcement, the jelly bean, because he was probably asking. But at the beginning, you will face some, some problem behaviors. So he will try to hit you at the beginning. So what you're going to do? I give you this. It's not a checklist. No, the checklist is here. Is some instructions, so you can read instructions. It is pretty much self-explanatory. Can we go through it? Okay, so when John is requested to move from preferred activity and engage in hitting, first follow through. So you still make him do it. You don't give any attention to the hitting. So what you're not paying attention. For example, I noticed that you give him timeouts. So don't do that, because he don't want to engage in that task. So you make him do it. he will try to hit you, and hit you. So what you do? You put your hand and block him from hitting. You don't need to hold his hand, kind of restraining. Just block him so you don't get hurt or he doesn't get hurt. And place him at the task that you want him to do it. And as soon as he stops hitting you, you can reinforce him as a praise. Like, oh, I like the way you're not hitting me. That's a good job. Or you can give, not the best reinforcer, but something that is really reinforcing for him that moment, and that will not take him out of that task. So, you will protect yourself, you reinforce him as soon as he stops hitting, but every time that John presents the desired behavior, or when he is requested to move from preferred activity to a non-preferred activity and don't engage in hitting, you will use the reinforcement procedure. So you will give him a reinforcer. But the reinforcers, you have some sort of hierarchy. So you have a most preferred one and a least preferred. So you can watch John and pretty much figure out how you're going to, how they're reinforcing, you know what I mean? Like if he really enjoys the gummy bears or the jelly beans, you don't give them as the first, only if he engages in the really beer. So if he at the first moment asks you for more time, you give the biggest reinforcer. But if he hits you, you have to ignore, and then he stops, you give a reinforcer, but least preferred. Are you following me? Okay, nice. So, using observation of John's behavior, you will find that most preferred toy for food will set the jelly bean. So the jelly beans is the top priority. The B movie. So if he asks, you give him the B movie. But if he
if I asked him to transition from playing with his toy cars to taking a bath, and he starts to hit me, I'll block him, and as soon as he stops hitting me, praise him and give him a jelly bean or a cheesy, because he likes them a little bit less than jelly beans, and make him go and take his bath, reinforce him while he's in his bath, right?
Yes, but
if he's in his bath and he requests for time out of his bath, then because he requested for time away, then I can reinforce him with
yes, you
the
can
movie.
give. Yes, but remember, you're not playing the whole movie. You're playing a part of the movie. Yes. So it's the next point that I want to tell you. You will use a timer. You will use a timer if you have. But if you don't have a timer, just give him and say, okay, you have X more minutes to do that, to watch the movie, and then you're going to take the shower. So it's what you're going to do. You give him, but you don't want him to escape. You know what I mean? Like escape is like, you want him to take a bath.
So if he has a portable DVD player, I could just take him out of the tub, sit him on the toilet, for example, or on the floor, play the DVD for 20 seconds, toss him back in the bathtub after?
Yes, you can do like 2 minutes of the movie,
Okay.
close it, because you don't want him to be at the tub watching the movie. You want him to engage in that task. You want him to take a shower, to take a bath. So you play, you close it, and you say, okay, after you're done this, you can watch a movie. Or after you're done this, you can play with your toys. You reinforce him as soon as he presents, but you still want him to do whatever he is requested to do.
Okay, so I have a question. Should I jump to the B movies the very first time he's asking for escape from taking a bath, because he could hypothetically ask for 20 escapes. Should I start from like a medium reinforcer, move up, or?
That's a good question. Yes, you should, if because requesting properly for more time to play with his toys, to watch a movie, or not to do the taking a bath, is what you want him to do. So you really reinforce him. And that's interesting because he can request more times, but you reinforce him at the first one, and you have to make him do the task. So after the task, then you give him after the bath. You don't take him off the bath and come to bath, off the bath and come to bath.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You do reinforce the first time, make him do the bath, and after that, you reinforce him.
Okay.
That's the thing about the reinforcement. And you have to follow through. You have to make him do whatever you request.
Before he gets it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, remember to make him do something before presenting the preferred item. Remember, reinforcers have a value, but if you keep giving him, it will lose this value because he has access. For example, do you like money? Do you have free access to money?
No.
You have to work the whole month to get a little bit of money. Okay, not a little bit, but anyways. So money is really reinforcing to you. You have to work the whole month and you get it. If you have free access, for example, a good Hollywood movie star, they have like millions and millions of dollars, paying $100,000 for this cup here, or this glass, will be like normal. But for you, paying like $10 in this glass, you will be like. So if you have free access to something, you will lose the reinforcing value, the reinforcer value. So I will tell you to keep him without access to those most reinforcers. Keep the jelly beans on top shelf. Okay? Okay, so there's another thing I have here, the tally sheet. I think I gave you a copy, but we have a tally sheet, and every time that you request John to move from activity, I would strongly recommend that you make a note here. So you'll see that you have a tally sheet and you have yeses and no's. So you have a Y and an N. Every time that you ask him to move from an activity to another, you mark the yes if he presented the heating behavior, or you mark the no if he doesn't. Okay? You understand? Okay, so you present the heating, you yes, didn't, no. Every day I will present you with some tally sheets. Every day you will have to do that, so we can keep track if our process, our intervention at the center will work with him. And you are a very important part of this procedure, because you will have the control of him at home, and he's more at home than at the center. Okay? So I want you to do something, just to understand if you got a concept of the reinforce. So I will have this coin here, and this coin is really reinforcing to me. So if you got the concept of reinforcing, I would ask you to reinforce me. Okay.
Okay.
Now let me explain a little bit. I will have to do something for you and you will have to reinforce me.
Mhm.
So pretend that I am.
So wave.
Oh, wait.
Good job.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for waving.
Oh, that's a good. You're not just reinforcing me with a preferred item, but you also give me a verbal, a praise. So that's good. You can do that with John too. Say, good job, John. Good job taking a bath. So, this is what I wrote for you. Some instructions you will have on your material there, and you can follow them. And I have a checklist. You'll have the checklist too, that I will go through this and evaluate your progress with the reinforcement schedule for John. So it's on your material there, but you can look here. You will have some actions and some yeses and nos, some things that you will do or not. So you will make an observation of John to know the best reinforcer. So if you did that, we will mark a yes. If you don't, we'll mark a no. You will develop reinforcing hierarchy. So, if you do that, we mark a yes, mark a no. The mediator is you, will have at least three different reinforcers. So we already have B-movie, jelly bean, cheesies. You like cheesies, or cars, the toys. You know, you were the mother, you will know, but you have to have at least 3 things that you can use. You will use a timer. Well, you can use your watch or your home clock. The microwave clock you can use too. Use a timer to set the time play for John. You will have to ignore challenging behavior. Ignore, when I tell you to ignore, is don't give him any attention. Because, for example, if you say, don't hit him, don't hit me, you're giving him attention. Even it's kind of a bad attention, but you'll still give him attention. So don't give him attention at all. You will have to remember to follow through your requests. So it's here, follow through your requests. If you did, please say yes. If you don't, please say no. And mediator will reinforce positive behavior right away. As soon as he has the behavior that you want him to present, you will have to reinforce him. Okay? So at the end of the day, you will have to keep track of how many times he presented the behavior. So it's the tally sheet. You'll have to keep track of the tally sheet. This one. Okay? So I think it was a brief moment, but it was what I had to tell you. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
Nice. Is there any other doubt, Mrs. Joan, that you want to ask me?
No.
Okay, so with your materials, I have my contact number. My card is there too. If you encounter any doubts, if you encounter any problems, you can call me, Mrs. John. I'll be more than willing to help you, little John. Okay? Thank you very much, and I think we're all done here. Thank you. And
Nice meeting you.
oh, nice to meet you. So see you in a couple days.
Have a safe drive.